Hello Ria Cult! Today I'm going to show you my relatable, actually realistic writing process, because I feel like people have this thing where they're like, oh my gosh guys, I wrote the outline, then I wrote the first draft, then I wrote the second draft, and then I did it. Whereas mine is actually unlinear. It's a roller coaster. It could have been insanely more productive than it is. I haven't even finished the book yet. What is even happening? It's a mess, it's chaotic, it's in shambles. This is what happened. This is exactly, yeah. Also, I have no idea what I'm talking about. So this is more for you to see that it's okay, that your writing process is actually a mess and not everything happens perfectly. So first thing I did was the outline. So I just opened like a Google Doc and separated it into like 4 bits. So we have characters, world, plot, and then I think there was a bit for like writing and or like just dialogue or whatever. And then I just like think of ideas, because I know people are like, you should dump all of your ideas into one document. But then when I actually did that, and it was an overflowing mess and everything was so confusing. So the categories actually help organize it more rather than shoving it all in a document. It's just very unorganized and trash. Except that is literally the rest of this, my routine. But still, even though the routine is bad, it's gonna create the best book you've ever read. So it's gonna be worth it. You see, you need the chaotic in shambles routine to create something beautiful. Okay, so yeah, basically, and then I think of any ideas and then I just write it down. So in terms of the characters, I just write the character's name and then I just put like random things that are their vibe. Like, I know you're meant to do the character profile, I did that later, but first I literally just wrote down their vibe. So let me think of a random character on the spot that doesn't even exist in my book as an example. So let's say we have Bob, right? Random things of Bob: lemons, trash, water, jeans, cocky attitude, round cheeks, circular face. Okay, no, this is such a bad example. I'm just saying random words, but like, you understand what I'm saying, ignoring the trash Bob example, you know. So I just wrote down things that gave me that energy, really aesthetic, iconic, cool things. I remember one was like dragons, crimson, fire, confidence, arrogance, shit like that, you know, exactly. And also you can literally put quotes in there as well. So that's basically how I understood the vibe for all of the characters. And then for world, I had a bit called Magic System where I put ideas specifically about that, and I'd do little categories there. But it's just easier if you put it in categories rather than dumping all of your ideas in one thing. So yeah, I kept on outlining. I cannot lie, I did outline for way too long and spent like 10 years writing about each different type of plant, even though there's literally no plants in the book now. Like, why did I waste all that time spending way too long on the lore for random irrelevant stuff? So don't do that. You see, actually this video is literally just me telling you my dumb mistakes so you don't do it as well. But also, it's okay, you know, we're meant to be in shambles, it's fine. Like, if the process is chaotic, that's what you need to create something beautiful. Okay, that was my first online outline. Then I had another document which was my second online outline, and what I did with that is first I just typed down every single event that happened in the plot. I actually googled hero's journey, wrote down the entire structure of the hero's journey, then I wrote down every single plot point fitting from that, from the outline. Then I looked at my whole character thing. Oh yeah, so basically with the character sheet, I did that first. Then what I did is I wrote the character's name, personality, because I know people will be like, what's your character's favorite color? And it's like, bro, that literally does not matter. Who cares about your character's favorite color, right? So what I did is I just put my character's name, personality, and then I just write down their traits. Like positive, like I would do positive and negative, but honestly, I mean, positives can be negative, so literally just write that down. Oh, also what I did, which was quite cool, is I actually learnt this. I actually invented this when I was in like a year 9, writing my quite concerning novel. And for every single character, I wrote down secret, and then I wrote secrets they would hide. Because like, what I was writing is a really dramatic secretive story in year 9. So then I was writing down all the secrets that they had. So that's what I also did, because actually in my book it's like the characters don't know a lot about each other, and then they're all wondering, because it's like different POVs, they're all wondering about each other, and then as the reader you're like, what the heck is going on as well. So yeah, that's what I did. So we have character, personality, secret. Then what I also did is what the character wants, so want, and then you write what they want like in the story. Then you have their need, so then the need is like is what they actually need to achieve. So the want is what they want to achieve, but the need is actually what they need, you know what I'm saying? And then you have the like tragic anime backstory, where you just write their backstory, and then their backstory is actually somehow tied. And then you have their like lie, so the lie they're telling themselves, right? So their lie is preventing them from getting what they need, or like what they need and what they want could be the same thing. Yeah, so then that's basically what I did for the character profile thing. Oh my gosh, amazing, right? So then let me use an example. We have Bob. What Bob wants is to overthrow the Lemon Empire, right? But then his tragic anime backstory is that the Lemon Empire killed his sister, right? So Bob now wants to overthrow the Lemon Empire, because the Lemon Empire overthrew his sister. But because of his tragic past, he feels like everyone he loves will leave him. So his lie is that everyone he loves will leave him, and that's what he believes. He believes that everyone he loves will leave him, so there's no point in forming any meaningful relationships, because they're all going to die on him or let him down. And then that is what he needs in order to actually achieve his want, which is to overthrow the empire. Also, this is literally a random example I'm literally coming up with on the spot. There is no Bob or lemons in my book, I'm sorry. So then what Bob actually needs is to actually see that he can still trust others and they won't leave him. So then once he learns that, he can actually achieve his want and overthrow the Lemon Empire. Or maybe the want will actually change based on his need and he doesn't actually do what he wants. So maybe he learns that and then realizes, wait, I don't even need to overthrow the empire, even though that's dumb, overthrow the empire, but like, you get what I'm saying. So that's basically me more explaining what that is. So after I did that, then I did my IRL outline, which is obviously me just writing down all of the plot points I wrote down according to the hero's journey thing, and then just like sticking them all on my wall in order, like, because like it was really messy on the notes. I just sort of organized it and put it in different spaces. And also what I actually did is like in different colors wrote different things. It was all color coded, organized, slay. Basically I just like wasted a bunch of time. I stuck that on my wall, bam, we done. We had the outline. First draft, right? I did make a very old video called how to slay the first draft. I literally wrote my first draft in like under a month. It was really fast because I spent like 10 years on the outline. But with the first draft, literally just write utter trash is my advice. Like, if you're like, this sucks, it's honestly fine, because like it's better to get it written and then re-edit it than spend 10 hours editing it and being like, oh, I haven't even got anything, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so what I do is I look at the post-it, type it down into an actual chapter, and then just keep on typing each post-it into a chapter. And I'd do that, and then I'd actually write 1k to 2k words every day, because my plan was to just write 200 words every day, and then I'd go over that all the time because I was really passionate, and like also it was just a habit. And then I actually finished the first draft really fast, which was really good. However, while you're writing the first draft, you're like, oh my gosh, this doesn't make any sense, this bit. Instead of wasting my time, I'd just be like, fuck that, and then carry on writing. And then what I do is I create a second document. Actually, okay, so what I did is I wrote it on an actual piece of paper, which is a bit dumb because now the entire paper is like really messy and disgusting, and then like it's really hard to read. So I think like, since you have so many ideas, just write this on an online document, unless you actually aren't messy. But like, yeah, so then what I did is I wrote down in a document, well, it's not a document, but it should be a document, all the issues I had with the actual story, right? So when I was writing it, let's say I was like, oh my gosh, this description is so trash, I would literally just write down the description is trash rather than going back and fixing it. So I got the whole thing finished, and then I can actually go back and change it. So once I actually finished the first draft, I now have a whole list, right? So let's say I broke something and it's literally dying. Like, let's say my heart is bleeding out of my chest and it's just like erupting with blood, and then let's say I also have a paper cut. Obviously you're going to want to fix my heart first and then deal with the paper cut, right? So then that's just kind of the same thing with your book. So you want to deal with the major issues first rather than just fixing all the paper cuts, because then if you go back and fix my heart, okay, no, that doesn't work. But like, let's say you like fix the paper cut like while you're writing, and then you go back and have to fix the bleeding heart, you're probably going to change the paper cut anyway, and then there was no point in even fixing the paper cut. The paper cut example doesn't work in this like kind of point I'm making, but you get what I'm saying, right? So I ordered the list in most severe issue to least severe issue. This is where it ends up in a non-linear roller coaster, and I realized that I wanted to change the entire plot. So I kind of wrote another outline, but like I didn't do the long first step. I literally just wrote in a Google document like all the things I wanted to change, and then what I did is so I basically had an entire crisis, and I realized my number one criticism on most severity was the plot. So I just wanted to change the entire plot. So yeah, so then basically what I did is I went through, so I actually wrote my second outline on paper. I just wrote down bullet point by bullet point what I wanted to happen in the story. Yes, we're back at the outline stage. I know when I finished my first draft, I wanted to be really productive and move on to the second draft, but no, now I have 2 first drafts. So a slay. But I mean, it's going to be so worth it when the book is actually complete and immaculate and a masterpiece. So what happened is with the first outline thing, I wrote down on a sheet of paper every single plot point that happened in pencil so I can rub it out and rearrange, and then now I just have an entire list of like a very detailed outline. And then what I did is I opened another document and started writing that. However, I'd only write the scenes that are completely different from the first draft I already have written. So first draft A and first draft B, right? So while I was writing first draft B, if there was a scene that was similar to a scene that happened in first draft A, which is like, because like obviously the stories are very similar, I just wanted to change like some sort of elements in the plot. Then I'd put insert this scene. So right, insert that scene, insert that scene, insert that scene, right? So then I carried on writing. Now I've actually finished my first draft B. So then what I did is I pasted all the scenes from first draft A and put them into first draft B. So then now I have this kind of messy document where it's like one draft pasted into another document, and that's actually finished where the point I'm at. So now I'm gonna say, so that's my chaotic non-linear roller coaster kind of very unproductive method of how I've gotten to finishing the first draft / second draft, if that even counts as the second draft, right? And then now this is where what I plan to do in the future, so I can actually finish my book, and then world domination. Okay, so first I'm gonna try and make the first 2 drafts I've pasted together actually flow nicely and make sense, rather than like, actually that might be a waste of time, who knows, we'll see. Then after that I'm gonna reread the entire story, right, so I can actually understand what's happening. Then I'm gonna make a Google document. Right, well, while I was writing the second draft, I did have a Google document of all the issues I had. So I'm going to add to that all of the issues I have, rank them. Once they've been ranked, then I will go back and, oh yeah, so while I rank the errors, I put them into 2 different categories. You have errors with the actual story and errors with the writing style. So if I'm like, damn, I used too many full stops, then that will be in style. Whereas if I'm like, this character's backstory doesn't make any sense, that'll be story, right? So what I'm going to do is then I would rank everything in story and also writing style by 1 in categories of most severe to least severe. Then first I'm going to change every single thing, like from most severe to least severe, in story first and then writing style. Because like, even let's say there's a really big issue with the writing style and I just stopped using capital letters. Let's say I was like, fuck capital letters, my story is gonna be a lowercase bitch, right? And then I just wrote the entire thing in lowercase, and then I was like, damn, that was a bit dumb. So then that is a massive overflowing issue that my entire book's in lowercase, right? But also, let's say I have this like low-key bad issue where I'm like, with the world, there's this one irrelevant background character who's really annoying, right? But even though the issue is more severe with the writing style, if I did that first and then changed all the letters to capitals, if I were to then change the story and get rid of that background character, then all of the lower cases are gone anyway. That sentence doesn't even exist. So it was a waste of time trying to change it to capitals, right? So then that's why I want to deal with all of the like world issues first. Also, I know like people use technical terms like, oh my gosh, this is the revision edit, this is the like this edit. No, this is me just being not technical and basically saying my entire plan. But I mean, it's gonna work and I'm gonna dominate the world, and J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter is gonna be demoted, and then my book is gonna be promoted as like the #1 most famous iconic book, so it's gonna be worth it, right? So the plan is, yes, then that's the plan. So then what I'm gonna do is go through the first issues with the story, from most severe, change it, then second severe, change it, then keep on changing. Then once I've done that, think, is there anything else I want to change, or anything I change that causes even more issues, and keep on going until I'm 100% content with the actual story. Then move into writing style, change it from most severe to least severe, carry on until I'm the most content, 100% content with the writing style, and then I'm just like, damn, the entire book slays. Then after that, my plan is, like, now I'm happy with the book, I'm just gonna force my friends to read my book chapter by chapter though, because if I like just gave them my book all at once, they'd probably never read it and get scared. So I'm just gonna be like, here's chapter 1, send it to all of them, and then if they're like, Ria, you're being delusional, this character's trash, what the hell, then I'll go back and change that. So then once I sorted out that entire process, then my book is written. Slay. So yeah, that's basically the plan. So yeah, that's my plan on how I'm gonna dominate the world with my book. You've got this, I believe in you. I've got this, I believe in me. Thank you for watching. Love you, bye.